Howdy, ladies and gentlemen, cars. Welcome back to AHG. So I was hanging out with my pals the other day. I'm kidding, I don't have anybody here to hang out with. But I was talking to my buddy Alex, good old Alex Lechner from good old Glen Campbell P8. I built him a couple of guitars, and I have one of them here. I didn't build it for him. I built one that's actually for him. It's in the kitchen. But the one right here, he wanted, so it's going home to him eventually. But today's video, I was talking to him, and I'm going to talk about Gettin Primal. Now, I don't have too many Primal builds I built. I've got two here that I built. Let's see, two from Alex, and I've got two that my buddy Jesse from Hummingbird Guitars built. So you gotta check him out. He builds some wild, crazy stuff, some six stringers too, not just cigar box stuff. I want to talk about Gettin Primal, and then not just Primal, but just guitars that can inspire you. I've still got a couple I want to build myself. Like I said, I'm out of wood, so I have to decide: do I want to start on the hubcap, or do I want to start on the Padron that I kept telling you guys about? That I'm gonna make it look like an oil can lid, and then we're gonna have a sound hole that's gonna be run by P90. Because at this point in time, I only have one more neck blank left. All my necks have lasted me, 2.5 years of the stuff I cut. But I want to talk about Gettin Primal. And, what does Gettin Primal mean? Now, you see guys build, some pretty high-end, fancy, cigar box guitars. I have nothing against that, so don't get butthurt, don't all that BS. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I don't have a lot of money, especially right now because of the accident and all that. But I can't afford the nice fancy woods, zebra wood and all that stuff, or ash, like some of the Tellias are built out of gorgeous wood. So I can't build fancy cigar box guitars, Maybe one day I might build one or two, but I think most of my builds you guys have seen over the years are pretty primal. We just talked about legs in the last video, and we just talked about good old Graham's Washer. I think it's the most primal we got's Graham's Washer, the diddly bow, which I had to fix the wire. But Gettin Primal. So my buddy Alex doesn't have a YouTube channel. I'm trying to get him here on YouTube. I really am, guys. I'm trying to get him on the YouTubes. But he builds some pretty funky, crazy shit. And it works. So I got all the ones that Alex built me, because that's about as primal could get. And then we'll talk in, I guess these two I pulled out are primal to me, even though they're not. I think they're fancy to me. And then we'll talk about my buddy Jesse from Hummingbird Guitars. Here we go. Hummingbird Guitars. Go see my buddy Jesse. He built some wild stuff. This is an awesome killer guitar. I need to change the strings on it. All my guitars are falling over on each other. Especially this one over here. That one I just fell right here in my hand. So let's talk about my buddy Alex, because his are like the best ones to talk about primal. So what does Gettin Primal mean? Well, it's getting down to the nitty-gritty. It's taking strings. Most guys would use baling wire, or the screen doors. They pull those screens. Chicken wire. Anything you can make a guitar string. So my buddy Alex is pretty primal. I kind of coined the phrase, I'm going to show this one here first. I kind of coined the phrase with him, Frankenstein. I said, man, some of your builds are like Frankenstein, where Frankenstein was, put together and, all of the different body parts. This is kind of what his style is it's kind of post-apocalyptic, meets steampunk. It's crazy stuff, you wouldn't think would make an instrument. So this one's one prime example that he built me here. And I love this thing. He built me this 2 years ago now. It's just two dowels, a square dowel, and then a round dowel is all it is. You got a bass string on this side, and then you got a regular guitar string on this side. This is the E string. And then just a regular guitar. So you got a guitar tuner over here, on the left, and then on the right side you got an actual bass tuner. That's an actual piece of Pennsylvania coal that he put on there. Then he put Alex guitars. There you go, Alex guitars. He put 66 for my racing number. He put that in there. And then our cat that passed away, his name is Benny. And, except Super B, but his nickname was Benny Fuzz. He had many different nicknames. He passed away 3 years, almost 3 years ago now. It's hard to believe. So he put Benny's name in there for me. Right there it says Benny. And then he put Sixer for the guitar rack that it's sitting in, because that's actually, I think, tomorrow or the next day. Today's Sunday while filming this. Is when I built the guitar rack. I'm not going to show you guys for now. We got to clean that room up. But that's coming up on 2 years I built the Sixer rack. So we put Sixer in there to make sure this is always going to be home. So Alex took a frying pan. This one to him is called, is his 20th build. The railroad frying pan is what he called it. Yeah, 2023. Yeah, 2 years ago like I thought. Right there. So, and then he used a Altoids tin. I put the card in there for the piezo, because it wouldn't work right. And then, you know, he put a dollar right here. Just some crazy stuff, man. Put a dime right here. Penny right there. And what this is called Sippin' Lightning 2.0. That's the name. Sippin' Lightning was one of the guitars I built 3 years ago now. So, and this, you know, coming from the South, good old whiskey. That's what it's for, you know. So this is a complete slide guitar. It's called a chugger. 2 strings. You can use one fretboard and have 2 strings. But this is one of, I can't remember the other guy in the cigar box world, but he builds something similar where there's a guitar string and then a bass string. So you can play this like a bass, you know, and get the, see if I can do it. So this one's kind of weird to hold, you know. It's a frying pan, you know. And then your tuner knob's right here. And the reason I like this one is because it's like an old Gibson style knob. This is just a rest to hold on your knee. Basically, while playing it, he's got a handle for it here. It's about as primal as it gets, you know. It's about as primal as it gets. This thing's really cool. Old man Charger's awake, so, but yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool, and it's weird to hold. And then Alex built this monstrosity. Here you go. Party on, party off. If you get it, you get it. And this is number 30. D-Bass is what he called it. I haven't made a name for this one yet. I haven't given it a name yet. But this one's really weird because the knob for your off and on piezo, it's right here, and then, so I don't know how to play this one yet. If I can just use my slide, I don't know. This is the first time picking up guitars trying to pick around in 8 months. So, I mean, I don't know. Anyway, so it's weird. But, and he put his Alex guitars. He actually has, it's ALXGTRS on Facebook. Alex Guitars on Facebook. If you're not friends with him personally on Facebook. But it's, you know, just a bolt. It's just a straight dowel. This up here is an actual old fuse. Like a very old fuse, 1920s or 30s or 50s in between there. it don't come out. He glued it in there. But this is just American Heritage Guitars 3.0. Why he said 3.0? Because this is 2.0. I mean, it just, he built some wild stuff. I mean, this is about as primal can get, guys. So that's where you can put your strap in. And of course, right here, I forgot, right there, it's upside down, but it says 66. But the party on, party off. This thing sounds so funky plugged in. But yeah, man, it's just his crazy creations Alex makes up, man. It doesn't get any better than that. I mean, it's primal. Not this summer, but last summer. I couldn't play at all. But I was doing the Star Spangled Banner on this. So I plugged it in, cranked it all the way up. The piezo is awesome because if you hit the pan or you hit the wood, best thing about piezo is it picks up everything. So it's just interesting, you know? Okay, let's move on to mine before we get to Jesse's here, because Jesse's are the Cadillac of Cadillacs. Primal. So this one right here is called Hillbilly Deluxe. I had my wife sign it because I didn't have my wood burner up and running, and I just said, hey babe, put a name on it for me. So you sign it, it says 2024, I'll have to get my wood burner. This right here, this bit, used to be a lot bigger. I found it in the water. They're about this size. It's the bits that they use to go down into the wood. So when you go to put your spike in, you know, they pre-drill them. That's what this was originally for. So I just took a what was this box again? Fuente. Sorry. Fuente box. And I used a paint can lid. This was from the group, the Great Cigar Box Guitar Builder Swap Off. So I put that on there. And this is acoustic. It can be made into electric. I think I might. But it gives it that banjo dobro sound. This literally actually sounds like a banjo more than a dobro. Let me get my banjo pick out. Put it on my thumb. So it's just acoustic. Ooh, that's way out of tune. But yeah, it gives it that really, it's a great box. These are great boxes to use. But yeah, it gives it that real. So this one I did a scarf joint on, as you can see here. I gave it the Les Paul. I think I cut this one at 14, I don't remember off the top of my head. But I gave it a slight backward. It almost looks like a Les Paul, actually, when you look at it. But it's a scarf joint. You can barely tell right here. You can barely tell. Right there. And then I took my knife and I hand whittled a lot of this with my knife like this. I hand whittled with my knife. And then I straightened everything out. I just love how this feels. Especially with a guy like me with tiny hands. I love this thing. So I think that's one of my most primal ones. Like I said, besides the good old washboard. But it's very lightweight. I made it, I think we did this one at, let's see, from the nut. I think I made this one 23 inches. I think so. It's like a mini banjo. It sounds like a banjo more than it does a dobro guitar, but paint can lids, usually you use them as dobros. But I think it's because I put the lighter gauge strings on here. I put the heavier gauge strings to sound a lot better, but I really like how it just sounds like a banjo. And this thing's so easy to walk with, you know, and to play. So this is Alex's. Alex wanted this one. This wasn't originally for him, but still sitting in the stable right now. But, you know, that's probably about as good as it gets for that. And then I guess this one coming up here. Oh, I gotta get my... this one right here. I built for the 2023... Here we go. I built this one for the CB Getting contest. I didn't win. I didn't place. Everybody was building like Maserati builds. But this is the porch spindle. Just like the one that you've seen for legs. Porch spindle. And then I cut it down so you can put your tuners in here. And then for downward pressure, I got a screw up here holding the strings down. You normally see when I build it, you normally see the nail. This one I wanted to do a little bit different. And of course you got your single coil just like a Strat. And these are your door hinges. They use for, or not door hinges, your cabinet hinges. And then this is actually an old railroad spike, very old. Did I bring the other one down here? No, I didn't. You've seen the railroad spike ones I do, and I just showed you the railroad spike. Just this was sitting in one of the cricks. It's where the actual an old bridge used to be. I do all that stuff over my other YouTube channel called American Heritage and History, talking about the railroad. There used to be a trestle that went over the spot, and I found this in the river there. Crick. So it's not the same big giant size. And then, of course, your volume and tone knob. I just wanted to do something different. I was going to do on the side. The difference is with this one, you can see the jack. The problem is with the jack is that I put it too close to the tone, so it won't play. So I've got to redo that eventually. But I think this one's about as primal, another primal example as it gets. Still Arturo Fuente box. This one is called Happy Days. To me, Happy Days isn't just because of the show. If you watch the show, we're friends. But to me, it was thinking about my family, thinking about musical background on my family and singing and pianos and just the great music, from the 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s. And so it's kind of an homage to my family. So this is an old 35. I had to piece it together, and I used Mod Podge. That's why it's so glossy. This is an actual Hound Dog, which is the A side. Elvis Presley. It is real. It is legit. I just put because it's made out of Bakelite. It's what they used in World War II. It's made out of Bakelite, and they're very brittle. So some of them I saved upstairs to use on other stuff. But if you're building a guitar like this, you gotta do Elvis, man. It's awesome. So I really love this one. It's really cool. It makes a good, a good piece to hang up on the wall. I get it out every once in a while. I know I gotta change the strings on this one. Because I just don't. Here. Sounds really like a banjo. I like it though. I want to keep it, but if anybody's interested in Happy Days, aka Hound Dog, I love this guitar. It's a porch spindle leg. So there we end with Primal. Another thing that you want to do for yourself, before we get into the last two here, another thing you want to do for yourself is listen to music. Listen to blues, listen to rock. Before you start building a guitar, listen to the music you like the most, and the guitar will just start speaking for itself. Like I was listening, to Elvis and, Muddy Waters, B.B. King, Bats Domino. The list is large and wide. And I was like, you know what? Boom. And that's how Happy Days was created. Because I was thinking of times with my family and listening to all that music. And I was like, you know what? Let's do homage to family and what I grew up with. So I was like, okay, let's do it different. Instead of a fretted neck, we're just going to use a porch spindle and call it even. However, you did see the one that I did before. We did a half fretted neck. But this one I just wanted to make a slide. I might go back and maybe make it a fretted neck. I don't know. But if somebody's interested, that is for sale. You can get it from me for about $375. And if it's a wall hanger, it's a wall hanger. It won't hurt my feelings none. Let's get into my buddy Jesse from Hummingbird Guitars. This box right here is a Van Dyke box. It's one of those, the wood one, or the, not plastic. It's not the fancy woods like this. It's one of the cardboard boxes. There we go. But what's special about this Van Dyke box? Jesse told me it's originally the 1930s, and I looked it up too, and it is the 1930s. As a matter of fact, I played it so much that I wore off kind of the back here already. I love this guitar, man. It's light, it's funky. I like the paddleboard headstock design. These are MGB tuners. This is a hardtail, and then you got the Fender. You got the Fender type, single coil. This one's really fun. Actually, one of the things I do. Hold on. No. There we go. It sounds like an old F unit. You know the old horns on the old F units? Wah, wah, wah. It literally sounds just like it. So one of the songs I'm working on, I'll go back and forth and I go. Like it sounds like one of them coming down the tracks. I love this guitar. It's light. It's a good size. And like I said, it's an original 1930s Van Dyke box, man. So I try to be as careful as I can. Jesse added some support in here. You can feel it. Because if you go with these old boxes, which I'm looking for some, so if anybody has any from the 1920s, 1930s, please let me know. I'm looking for more vintage boxes for myself to build than the New Age boxes. But this is just, it's incredible. So it's a bolt-on, it's the bolt-on neck. Of course, that's supposed to be your heel. But it's just, it's really good. This one feels really good. Sitting there playing it, it feels really, really great. Ugh, a little rusty. But yeah, I love this one. It's really cool. And a 1930s Van Dyke box. It's awesome. I love this one. It's like one of my most prized possessions besides my own builds. I love that one. And then another one, Alex gave this to me, but this one's also built earlier. This one's also built by Jesse of Hummingbird Guitars. I've always been an SG fan. I've got to play a few in my life. And I've also, BC Rich, Dean. That's for this headstock. I think he did it. It's got the mix between them both. But I love this thing. It's really wicked. It's a nice little SG. Another hardtail. The pickup is a MGB pickup. The tuners are MGB. Michael Breedlove. He's the one who owns MGB. The only thing about this one is because this little pickup deal here, you got to crank it all the way up, and then you got to crank your distortion all the way up. But it's very ratty. Like I said, I think I'm going to change the strings, put on the thicker gauge strings from Killer Strings. Steve Harvey is an amazing guy. Look Steve Harvey up. He's got his own YouTube channel, Steve Harvey. He's an amazing guy. He created these strings, and they're awesome strings. I don't have them on anything down here now. But we're going to be using those on two of the builds I know I'm going to build. I've got a lot of, and they're great strings. They're heavy. They're heavy strings. I think 42, 33, and a 28 or something. They're on the, some of them are on the box in here. My other one's in there. I didn't grab them. I totally forgot I was going through. But I love this thing, man. It's fun, like I said, and the fact that this one, it's sort of primal. Because, it is the, not 2x4s. The big giant square ones you put up on your wall. I lost my brain, but that's what this is made. That's what this is made out of, and it's really cool. So I dig it. Oh, also check out Smoky Notes. are awesome. So this one's cool. I've got it out and I turned the distortion pedal on. It's like I said, when I want like my 80s, when I want my 80s or like, Rush, Pink Floyd, Zeppelin kind of feel, I gravitate towards this one. I really do. I gravitate towards it. And that's why I want to build something for myself too. But this is an incredible guitar from Jesse. Jesse's got some more with headstocks like this, and he's advanced in time. I think this one he said was like a 3 or 4 year old build already. When I talked to him about it, I said, "Hey, my buddy Alex gave me this guitar, man, and I didn't know it was yours. But as soon as I seen the headstock and the decal back here, I knew it was you." So I got a hold of him and asked him questions about this one. Yeah, so I mean, you can get as crazy as you want with headstocks. I haven't gone that route yet, because I really don't have the rest of the tools I need. All my tools are literally like logging tools, from tearing down lumber. That's what half my tools I use are logging tools. But it's all about your imagination, getting there and let me see here. Let me see if it's still in tune. No, still got a buzz. So like I said, guys, it's about getting primal, It's about thinking what you want to build. I mean, if you can go buy the fancy woods and you want to build yourself not something from a cigar box, you want to build yourself something crazy. Ammo cans. I've got an ammo can. That was my wife's father's ammo can from World War II. And it's stored a bunch of stuff, but I think I'm going to make a guitar out of it because I think it'd be really special. There's one I want to build that's called Wounded. So, yeah, I think it's going to be really good. But yeah, I mean, it's all about getting creative. I think I gotta check the frets on this one too. I haven't played it in so long. It's been upstairs. I love this one. As like I said, I gravitate when I get those days of I want to play my 80s stuff. Boom, it's that one. I haven't built myself one yet like that. That's why I want to build the hubcap one. That's why I want to build the Padron one. Because I want to get when I don't want to play my country, then that's what I want. I want another guitar, of course, of mine that I can gravitate towards too. But these are two incredible builds by Jesse. Other side, two incredible builds by Jesse. And of course, like I said, Alex, man. These are like the prime example of primal. Go check out my buddy Alex Lechner. Alex Guitars, ALXGTRS. Type it in Facebook, and he's got a page. And just talk to him, man. He's built me another one, he said. And he said it's gonna be the staple of AHG's stable. So I have no idea. But he's building me one, he said. So it's probably gonna be something crazy like this, I was like, dude, I don't have a 3-stringer of yours. We were talking. I was like, I've got this one. That's the bass, the chugger, the bass, and the I can put a G string on there if I want or whatever. And then the bass. I said, that's all I got, dude. So he's building me a 3-stringer. So I have no idea how crazy it's going to be. But knowing Alex, I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be crazy. So, there you go in a nutshell. Like I said, you want to get primal and you want to get, these two were also fun for me to build. They're both Arturo Fuente boxes. This one's just a bigger box. This one's just a tinier box. But they were both fun, both fun to build. I listened to different music at the same time. I was listening to my bluegrass. That's how this one came about. That's how Hillbilly Deluxe here came about. Is I was listening to my bluegrass, and I was like, dude, I don't have a banjo anymore. I want a banjo. So I wanted to get that sound, but I don't have the right stuff to build a banjo. So this one just sounds like a banjo. And now Alex is like, dude, I want that. And I said, okay, man, it's yours. So this one I built for Alex, or didn't build for Alex, but now it's going to be Alex's. Another one that I have in the kitchen is actually his. I built for him. It has actual Gibson buckers in it. And it's a slide guitar, so it's going to sound really loud. And talking about Primal, I had to get you off the thing down here that I have everything in. Like I said, Gettin Primal, I'll take it out of the newspaper here. These are going to be the staple for a lot of my builds. So that was Donnie Bonus. And I showed his card, it's in there. But he built these for me, and these are whiskey barrel straps. Came from a whiskey barrel. Guys, seriously, whiskey barrel. So that's right up my alley. Hi, Booby. Yeah, say hi, Dinah. Dinah came to say hi. You okay? Sleepy girl, you get out of your bed? She's got her little bed. You can see it right over here. Hi, Boob. Hi, baby honey. You want to say hi to everybody? So it's right up my alley to make things. I don't build like 100% primal, but I mean, I don't know. It's just I have like that old school style of wanting to bring back the 1800s, early 1920s, 1930s of guys building things at home. That's where the Hillbilly Deluxe came in. I think that really captures it. But dude, the sky's the limit. If you want to draw it out, it's usually in my head. Sometimes I'll have to write it down so I don't forget, especially after what happened to me back in March. But, I mean, the sky's the limit, guys. You know, I don't use nuts, like these for the Zero. I don't use nuts. I just use my Jumbo, Ultimate Jumbo, for my Zero fret, aka your nut. That's what I use for all of them. That one has it. I mean, sky's the limit on what you can do. I mean, you can even use bolts, like Alex says. You can use bolts for your nuts, whatever you want to do. If it's going to be a slide, typically you want it high. And that's usually what you want. All the guitars are falling over now. You guys want to... Sorry, I'm petting Dinah. I'm trying not to make this long. We're at 32. Damn. Sorry. But it's just things to think about, guys. You know, you could build as primal as you want. As primal as you want. Or as fancy as you want. Primal as you want. Fancy as you want. Sky's the limit for you. That's pretty much it in a nutshell, guys. I hope that, you know, makes you think. Get out there and create something, will you? You know, whatever you want to play. Slide. If you don't like to play with frets, slide. You know, or if you want something where, you know, where you can play country, rock, whatever. It's design the guitar around what you want it to say. Your fingers are what talk. If you actually don't sing and are a singer, let the fingers do the work of you playing the guitar. Let the fingers do the work, man. I love all these builds. And yes, I have more upstairs. The Niner rack is completely full, especially with the jazz bass or the P bass neck that I call Geezer. Because if you know Geezer Butler, then you know that he had a guitar where it broke, took the jazz neck off of the jazz bass body and put a P bass neck on a jazz bass body. That's the one I have upstairs. I love that one because it's a tobacco burst. It's just that the sky's the limit, guys. Charger, want to say hi? Hey, Charge. This is old man Charger, like I said. He's 16. This is his 16th Christmas. I love this guy. Yeah. I don't know if you guys can hear him purring or not. Dinah was just saying hi. Dinah's laying down. You can see her right there. I love my cats, man. You know, when they come over, I gotta give them attention. I'm so proud of this guy, because he hasn't meowed to drive you guys nuts like he drives me nuts. I've been so proud of him. I love my cats, man. But, you know, just think. Go out there and do something special, guys. I mean, MGB, look up MGB. MGB is a good supplier for CBG stuff, especially all the tuners, all the hardtails. And of course, CB Giddy. All my guitars are all CB Giddy parts. I'm trying to get some talks with Michael to see if I can, do something special. I'm trying to find, old Dodge Charger. I'm a Mopar guy. I don't have the race truck and all that, but I'm a Mopar guy. But I'm trying to find, Ford emblems. I'm trying to find more dog dish hubcaps. The one upstairs is an old Buick, and I think a 1925 Buick. That one's going to be a guitar. Old license plates. If y'all have old license plates, get a hold of me. Like I said, if you make slides, you make picks, you make pickups. Guys, just get a hold of me. Let's do something together. Let's have some fun. There's still time for the shovel guitar. I have not done anything with it yet. We're at 46 followers, so I thank you guys. Just help me get over 50, and we can do stuff live together instead of me always pre-recording, and it takes 10,000 years to upload because my internet has good days and bad days. I'll try to wrap this up so we're not at another 50 minutes. But there's just a lot here to talk about. I could go on and on about the stain choices of Gunstock or Honey Stain. I could just keep going on and on. But those are some of the guitars I wanted to get out to try to talk about Primal. And if you want to build fancy, well, you got choices. But get out and do you, be you, man. Do some research and build yourself a killer axe that you can do whatever you want to do. I hope this coming summer that I'm 100% myself, especially with the hand and all that. Of doing some live performances. We'll see. That's why I want to get some other guitar builds in. But there's still, go back to the last 2 videos. Please, if you want to win that shovel guitar, man, there's still time for that. Just see those videos, put in the details below. And I'd love to see somebody win it, but I can't wait for people to see me build it live in action. That's what I want to do, but I have to get over 50 followers to do live videos. We're at 46 people. So we're almost there, guys. So thank you so much for love and support. I'm going to get off of here. Everybody have a good rest of your Sunday. And, just enjoy yourself. I forgot what the, oh, I can't do that.